Jesus Christ!
What's up, YouTube? This is Xander with Next Era Gaming, and today I'm here with
Matt.
And today he's going to show off his
Train Infinitrax. I call it Infinitrains.
Oh shit!
All right, let's jump right into it.
This deck is a very big, beefy deck. It's mainly to OTK. The first 3 monsters you have to have is the Derecranes. They're very easy to summon. As long as you summon a Earth Machine, they get to come out. They have their attack, but who cares? You're going to overlay into rank 10. Second card is Silver Express Bullet Train. You need that because it's a free special summon, and then you just overlay it to a rank 10 as long as you have something else on the field. Good thing is when he hits the grave during the end phase, you can recycle any Earth Machine, which is a great thing for this deck because it doesn't have a lot of draw power. So anytime you recycle, it's very good. Night Express Knight, good card. I'm thinking about dropping that to 2. It's good when it's in your hand turn 1. The problem with it is it does take up your normal summon, and the normal summon in this deck is very important unless you can combo before it. So those are the big beefy 10 trains. The one that combos off with that is the Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. This is a good card to combo with Super Express Bullet Train. When it hits the field, it special summons a Earth Machine from the graveyard. Now it can also mimic another card's level. So a good combo is this, target this in the grave, and then this becomes level 10, and you go into rank 10s. And then if they ever get hit the grave, you use this to bring this back to hand, and you just recycle the whole combo. Very good card. Then, well, that's going over the big boy trains with level 10s. Now I'm going to go through the Infinitrax engine. Probably the best card of Infinitrax is Harvester. He searches. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but the fact that he searches any Infinitrax is probably the best thing in the archetype. The other small one is Anchor Drill. I took this out for a while because I didn't think it was as good for a combo, but it's good. It's better in the later stages because you normal summon him and you special summon any Earth Machine from your hand, which if you combo that with one of the big 10s, it's not bad. These two have the same second effect. They target a monster on the field, and both those monsters combine their levels to the same. So then you can go into the big Infinitrax XZs and stuff like that, which I don't really do that often, so it's not that big of a deal. That's the small ones. We got Trencher. He's very good because I'm going to explain all of these at once. They all have the same effect of you tribute an Earth Machine to special summon them in defense, and they all get their effects. He banishes from the grave, banishes himself from grave to special summon an Infinitrax from grave, so very good if you have to like recycle a combo. This is probably the best one to special summon. When he's special summoned, you can summon any Infinitrax from your deck. I'll show the combo with him later. The only downside to this is you're locked into Earth Machine, but it's not that much of a downside, except for one card in the extra deck. And Tunneler's there's one card that a lot of people don't play that I've seen in this deck. You banish him from the grave, and he's Pot of Avarice for Earth Machine. If you're going turn 1 or turn 2, it's very easy to get a bunch of cards in your grave. So it's never a bad idea to have at least 1 or 2 of these in your deck. So that's basically the Infinitrax deck for the monsters. I'm going to show you the tech cards that I have. You want to run 2 Jizukurus and 1 Gamma Seal. If you can see both of these in your hand, that's perfect. If not, then you're at least messing up your opponent, because you can Gamma Seal them, and if you have Jizukuri in your hand, then you get Jizukuri, who is a level 10. So that's a big deal when you maybe not have another level 10 in your hand and you're comboing off and you need to get to a level 10. And maybe they have Ultimate Conductor Tyrant, maybe they have the Borlos Savage, it's a kaiju. They do what they do.
Yeah, Dragoon Killers.
Exactly. Another thing is, I think it's Super Express Bullet Train that lets you recycle this thing back to your hand. So if you're able to get those two in the grave, and then during the end phase use Bullet Train to get a kaiju back to your hand, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because you get a free kaiju back to your hand. I don't play a lot of hand traps. You can consider these hand traps, but these are for your drawing. I put Phantasma in here a few weeks ago, and it has done wonders for me. The fact that you get to draw two and then put one back, depending on the link monsters or whatever, that lets you just reset your hand in this deck, which does have a lot of draw power. That's huge for this deck. I can't say enough about this card. I'm probably going to run another one. The second is permanence, obviously. This is the only legitimate hand trap, I guess you would call. I want to run 3 of these, but they're expensive right now. But I'm looking for that. So that's all the monsters, all the hand traps, all the text. Now I'm going to go into the spells. I know I say a lot of these cards are the best card of the deck, but this is probably the best card of the deck for the schedule. This just straight up lets you summon 2 monsters from your deck, one level 4 or lower, one level 5 or higher. I'll show you. I'm gonna have 2 combos at the end of this video. I'm gonna show you one combo with this and a different combo. They kind of go the same way, but this card is insanely good. And if you don't get to use this, then you can set it, and if someone pops it, you search for a level 10. It's never a bad thing. Seeing this card in your hand is never a bad thing. Heavy forward. This came out in Chaos Impact, or right? No, Eternity Code. This came out in Eternity Code. Everyone looked down on it and said it was trash. I'm like, okay, I'll take that and I'll put it in my Infinitrax because it's an Infinitrack card. You straight up search for it in Infinitrack. That's great. That's the search card. You always want to play search cards at 3. On top of that, it lets you either look at what target one of your machine XZs, so either switch its battle position, or you attach it to it as material. And you'll see why you want to attach it to material later on. Not that you ever probably need to, but you'll see. And then Revolving Switchyard is the field spell for this card. You can make this card combo off in your opponent's turn, and it's freaking stupid. If you summon a level 10 Earth Machine, you special summon a level 4 Earth Machine with 1800 attack, and then it becomes level 10. It does not get its effect negated like a lot of the other cards, so as soon as it hits the field, it gets its effects. I like to combo this with Flying Pegasus and then bring back something from the graveyard, and you can do a bunch of different things with this. If you don't get to use that effect, you can also discard a card to search for a level 10 Earth Machine. So either way, you're getting something out of this card, unless it gets destroyed or ashed or something. This deck is very prone to back row decks. Back row decks will destroy this deck, so play 3 Twin Twisters. Nobody's expecting anybody to main deck this, so you kind of have to. On top of that, you kind of want some of your cards in the graveyard, like Trencher or Tunneler and stuff like that, to combo off, or not necessarily combo off, but they're better in the graveyard than in your hand. So a lot of people might run Cyclone, which is not a bad idea. I like this one because it lets you pop 2, just for a discarded card. I know you can play multiple Cyclones and pop 2 or 3, but this is total up to 6 cards. If you're playing against like Altergeist or Draco, you want to get rid of their back row, and those decks can really mess this deck up. And then, of course, the one-ofs is the Terraforming for the Revolving Switchyard, and the one Called by the Brave for any kind of hand traps, because we got limited down to 1 instead to 3. Thanks, Konami.
So is that a 40 in the main?
That's 40 in the main.
Okay, I got a quick question if
Yeah.
you don't mind. So you said you were thinking about playing 3 Phantasme and 3 Impermanence going forward.
Yes.
What would you be cutting out? Or do
Nothing.
you,
I would go to a 42.
you would just go to 42?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want to show off the
As
extra?
far as I've made this deck, as far as I've ran it in the past 2 weeks, I haven't bricked.
Okay.
So,
All right. Fair enough. Fair
all right, so that's the main deck. I'm gonna go in the extra deck. This kit, there's a lot of these that you kind of like want to do the same way. A lot of it, but there's some parts that are up for interpretation of like how you want to do it. Main thing is 2 Goliaths. This thing is insane. If it hits the field and it hits the graveyard, you attach it to a Earth Machine Xyz, and that Earth Machine Xyz now can't be destroyed by card effects. And you'll see why you have to play that. The other one, next one is Double-Headed Anger Knuckle. It can't be used as link material. That's the only downside to this whole card. Other than that, it's probably the second or third best card in the extra deck. During the main phase, you can send a monster from your hand or graveyard, hand or field to the graveyard to special summon level 10. And if you have, say, Revolving Switchyard on the field, then you're comboing off during your opponent's turn. While it's in the graveyard, you just send any card to the graveyard and you special summon this. So it's a very good card, and it just keeps recycling itself and reviving itself. Cleaver Genius. This is in here because it's a machine. It's an Earth Machine. That's about the only reason why it's in this deck. The reason why it's good, though, is it's unaffected by Spell Trap and Link Monster effects. So if you're going against a bunch of back row decks, this is a good card to like just hang out and go to toe-to-toe with them.
I guess over Mystic Mind, right?
Yeah, except for Mystic Mind, but we don't talk about that card. But yeah, Mystic Mind kind of beats that because it stops your opponent, not the card itself. This is the one card that's up for interpretation. I do Avermax because this deck is very prone to getting beat by Avermax. So I figure the best way to fight Avermax is with Avermax. But that's, like I said, this part is kind of up for interpretation. Shout out to Xander for hooking me up with this one. That's all the links. I'm going to go into the Xyz now. This deck only plays links and Xyz, so sorry for all you Synchro and Fusion players. I don't play Mega Clops because it's not as easy as getting the Xyz monsters out as everyone might think. The first one is Riverstormer. He's very good. He's the main combo piece from the extra deck. You just detach and you search for a level 10. Either add it to hand or send to grave. He can revive himself by sending a link to the graveyard. You do that every once in a while. And then if he destroys a monster by battle, he takes that monster and attaches it to him. Earth Slicer is the other Infinitrack. He's not bad. I don't use him a lot, but when I do need him, he's very helpful. You just detach as many as you want from him, and you destroy that same amount of cards on the field, which is very good because I mean this deck loves destroying things by card effect. And same thing as him. If he destroys a monster by battle, he takes it as material. Then you have Sky Palace. These are all the rank 10s. You got Sky Palace, Gustav Max, because that's kind of obvious, and you have Super Door, which is kind of obvious. Now this is the only one that's kind of a problem because it's a wind, not an earth. So if you go into Brutal Dozer, you can't play him that same turn, which is sometimes a problem. Most time it's not. But all you have to do, he just detaches, destroys a card, and you burn him for 1,000. So it's pretty freaking cool to burn someone for 1,000, especially if you're going into time. And if you detach a card like Derek Crane, then you get to pop 2 cards. So that's a great combo to go into. Gustav Max, burn for 2,000. Everyone knows that one. Then you have Superdora, which probably the best card in this deck. I don't care about Liebe. Like if I didn't have Liebe and I only had this, I'd be fine with that because he's unaffected by other card. You can detach, target card, and that card is unaffected by other card effects. That's insane, especially when you put him in defense mode. He's at 4,000 defense. It's not the easiest card to get over. But yeah, he's very good. And then obviously the big boy boss monster Libe. He has a very, very long effect. Basically what the effect does is you detach from him, he gains 2,000, and he's the only one that can attack that turn. All you have to do to summon him is overlay him on top of an A rank 10. You can only do that once per turn, but you only need one most of the time. And he can attack up to how many materials he has on him, +1. And then the attack he gains from detaching, that's a permanent one. He doesn't. There's no until the end phase. It's permanent. So permanent 6,000.
Have you thought about playing? And this is just something I thought about.
Yeah.
Have you tried limiter removal in the deck?
There's no point.
Okay.
And top of that, like the only way I would be able to play limiter removal is if I have Libe attached with Goliath, because that way Libe wouldn't be destroyed.
Okay.
I've thought about it. It's just I'm not with how much I can combo off in the deck. Limiter removal, if I can't search it, it's a dead card in my deck.
Okay.
So
sounds good. I was just curious. All right. So you said your combo you want to show off?
yeah, I'm gonna show combo off. Alright. Right here, I'm going to show you basically the same combo. If you have either heavy forward and one of these two, or you have harvester and one of these two, it's going to be full combo and it's going to be a pretty good combo. I'm going to show heavy forward just to add one more card to this combo, because heavy forward added to this combo it makes it even better. So heavy forward and Super Express Bullet Train in your hand. You go heavy forward. You search for Harvester. Harvester effect. Use normal summon Harvester. Use effect to search for Bulldozer. And then you tribute Harvester for Bulldozer and use Bulldozer's effect, which special summons from the deck, which is Trencher. Now, right here you would overlay a River Stormer. Detach for River Stormer to add either Dare Crane or Super Space Bullet Train to your hand. Either one does not matter, they're both searchable. And then you can go Super Space Bullet Train, you can get to special summon him because you only control Earth Machine monsters, and off that special summon you can special summon Dare Crane because you summoned him. Now this is where it kind of differs. If you're going turn 1, you're going to overlay. Let's go all the way. Let's go in the center. It doesn't matter where you put them. Just try not to put them underneath the link zones that you are your extra mixes zones. From here, you kind of get to choose. If you're going turn 1, you want to go Superdora, because that's what's going to help protect you. If you're going turn 2 and you know you can go for the OTK, you want to go Gustav Max, because that's what this deck is for. It's for OTK and it's for beating your opponent in one turn. If they have, say, more than one monster in attack mode, then you're going to win the game. So let's go turn 2. You're going to go Gustav Max. So instead of using Gustav Max, you're going to go into Goliath. And then for Goliath's effect, you have to tribute him to bring Brainstorm back from the grave, and then you can use Goliath's effect to attach it to Gustav Max, so now he can't be destroyed by card effects. Now you can choose to either detach Bullet Train or Dare Crane. If you're trying to get something off the field, you detach Dare Crane, you deal 2,000. On top of that, Dare Crane pops a card on the field. And then you would go into Libe, and now Libe can't be destroyed by card effects, which is a big downside to him. And then you detach Gustav Max, or if you want to search something, or you want to recycle something from the graveyard, you detach Super Express. And then you can recycle back Dare Crane, you can recycle back anything, and now he's at 6k and he attack 3 monsters, if they have 3 monsters. So, that's the first combo. Now, the second combo is going to be roughly the same idea. with just a slight variation. I'm going to show you what Urge's schedule can do. But I'm also going to show you the power of switch yard at the same time. So you have urgent schedule. Say you have 3 cards in your hand. A lot of people say that's not great. That you can't rely on that. But if you have Terraforming, you search for this. It's a very likely way of having this in your hand, especially with Phantasme. It's a very, if you see this in your hand, this is basically the best hand you can have, except for maybe Call by the Grave to help protect you. So you want to go switch yard. Switch yard is activated. You urge a schedule. It straight up lets you special summon Trencher and Harvester. Now you want to special summon Trencher for Trencher's effect once he hits the grave. You want to go to Link 2. You got Ingonakko. And then you use Trencher, banish Trencher, Harvester, then you do a full Harvester. Bring out Tunneler, no, not Tunneler, sorry. Brewdozer to your hand. Check your Harvester. Brewdozer, and this time you bring out Tunneler because you already used Trencher. And then you overlay for River Stormer, and then you detach. Now, this is where the combo can get pretty crazy. So you special summon, and because of switch yard, you get to special summon now Flying Pegasus, and because, say you special summon Flying Pegasus, you can special summon Derek Ring. He becomes level 10, and he gets his effect by special summoning from Graveyard. You can go any way with this. So overlay. And you got Gustav Max. And then say you want to go Link 1 so you can get your Goliath. Now say you want to, right here you kind of have, a myriad of options. You can detach deal 2,000. You can just go into the lead. You can get rid of Goliath and attach him to Gustav Max or your Super Door. You just have endless amounts of choices for your combo right here. But this is basically how this deck runs. And on top of that, you have Tunneler in your graveyard in case you need a pot of average for anything, which is very easy to get 5+ monsters in the graveyard with this combo.
So it definitely looks like the second combo is probably the more preferred combo.
Yes, the second combo is the more preferred, but like I said, you have to have those 3 cards in your hand to go off. And the problem with this, the biggest problem with that second combo is you don't get to deal any battle damage, but that's why you go Gustav Max. If you're going for time, then Gustav Max, you don't do any battle damage, but they do still take effect damage from Gustav and stuff like that.
Alright, man, you got anything else you want to add, or?
No, you got any questions?
No, this seems pretty good. It's pretty solid. So yeah, this has been Matt with his trains. This is Next Era Gaming, and I want you guys to let me know what you guys thought down below. Let me know what you guys think of this profile. Tell me if there's anything that you think that maybe me or Matt should consider going forward when playing trains. And smash that like button, hit that subscribe, check our links below. Teesprings, The Casual Judge, Cozy Singles, all of it. And Next Era is now, guys.